Welcome to the Fifth Down. I'm Jake Vandenberg. We are now in week 2 of high school football season here in Northeast Michigan. Our featured game of the week was at Wildcat Stadium as the Alpena Wildcats hosted the Sault Ste. Marie Blue Devils. The Wildcats are looking for revenge on their new turf, as they got outplayed by Oscoda, losing by a score of 34-13. Let's see if they can take care of business at home. During halftime, last year's district champions were announced, including the women's softball team, but let's get to the highlights. Second quarter in this one, Jacob Davey, he's gonna roll right, has some time, and he is able to find John Robinson for the touchdown. Extra point would end up getting blocked. 6-0 was the score in the halftime. Early in the third, Jacob Davey throws deep down the middle to senior James Husky, and goodbye, that's another touchdown. The Sioux up 14, including the 2-point conversion. Next drive, Alpena is gonna march back as Eli Winter is gonna punch his way in for the touchdown. Wildcats cut the deficit to 7. To the fourth now. Jacob Davies, third touchdown pass of the night, and he's able to find John Robinson again for 6. That would give them a 13-point lead. Alpena on the next drive, though. You got to look at this. This looks like a bunch of nothing, but this is what I call not giving up on the play. Eli Winter is able to take it to the house for his second touchdown of the night, but the Sioux is able to steal this one on the road from Alpena as the 3-game losing streak comes to a close for the Blue Devils. 20-14 is your final score.
Well, in the first half, we only had, after our first series, we were at 6 plays. So, I mean, the defense played okay in the first half, but we had 6 plays after our first series. So, at the end of the day, that's not, we didn't get the ball back for us in the first half, you know. So, in the second half, we definitely made some adjustments. I started calling better plays. We started calling better plays. You know, they, like, got to give the Sioux credit. They knew exactly, or they planned all week. You know, they definitely knew that we wanted to run, you know, off tackle, inside and out, and they were ready for that. So we have plays in for that. We had to start calling those.
Based on last week, Rogers City and Tawas have a couple things in common. One, they lost in some close matches. Tawas lost to Alcona by a score of 16-14, and Rogers City lost to Whittemore-Prescott by a score of 12-8. And the other thing, both teams gave up a touchdown very late in the game. So let's get to the highlights in this one. Tawas is going to the first ones to get on this one board as the quarterback North Davis has a nice throw to the receiver for the 5-yard touchdown. But Rogers City isn't going down without a fight as they're going to have a nice pass play to set them up to the goal line. And the quarterback is going to keep it himself for the 2-yard touchdown. And that's going to tie the game at 6 apiece. But Tawas is going to set the last laugh as they're just going to power the ball in from the 5-yard line and then convert the 2-point conversion after Tawas is able to defend their home territory and get the win by a score of 14-6.
Played well. Offense has. We're still committing too many penalties. That's the big thing right now. We got to clean that stuff up. Blocks in the back and holdings and things. So we just got to keep working on it and stressing it and become more disciplined. We can't keep that up.
Now to other 11-man scores. The Oscoda Owls took down Coleman, and this wasn't even close. 70-7 is your final score. Braden Malak threw for 5 touchdowns, and 4 of those came in the first quarter. 9 different people were able to score, which is a school record. The Owls defense is only allowing 9.5 points a game. Zach Ouellette led the team in tackles with 6. They moved to 2-0 on the season, and Whittemore-Prescott just couldn't catch up with Manistee as they dropped to 500 on the season. 57-20 would be the final score. And Merrill was able to beat Alcona by a score of 33-8. Alcona's next matchup is at Oscoda as they take on the Owls. And Johannesburg-Lewiston is able to defeat Mancelona by a score of 21-0. Preston Marlette threw for 2 touchdowns. Sheldon Huff led the team in rushing with 130 yards. And Logan Faraday rushed 90 yards, including a rushing and receiving touchdown. Joburg's next game is Friday the 13th as they host East Jordan. Alrighty, when we come back, we have some 8-man football scores and highlights to show you. Don't go away. You're watching the Fifth Down on WBKB, but here's a look at the Alpena Marching Band. Their music, spot on. Give them a listen. Welcome back. Both Hillman and Hale had come off a win each, but the Tigers were able to get off to a quick start in this one, scoring 12 straight points in the first quarter. But Let's start things in the second quarter. Hillman quarterback Nash Stank is going to keep it going with a touchdown run all the way from their own 32-yard line, and wow, just what a big play there. But Hale's going to strike back right here with a 60-yard run from number 85, Dave Wani, who had to break off a couple tackles in the process. Yeah, just look at him go. He's going to take it all the way to the house, and there was plenty of scoring in this one because Nash Stank, he's going to pass it over to this time and find his receiver, number 22, Gunnar Milligan, for another 6 points. Now, okay, this might be the play of the day and maybe the play of the week next week. We'll see. After just giving up a touchdown, Milligan, here he is again. He's going to handle this kickoff from his own end zone. He's able to get through a few defenders, stay on his feet, and he's going to run this kickoff all the way back for the touchdown. No one is able to catch him. Hillman was able to take down Hale by a score of 54-42. And what a day for Gunnar Milligan, as he would end up with 404 total yards along with 4 touchdowns. And now some other scores. Mile drops to 1-1 on the season as they lost by a score of 48-32. The Gaylord St. Mary's. Brendan DeFlorio threw for 174 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And all Gres-Sims will capture their first win of the season as they take down Atlanta on their home field by a score of 36-24. All Gres-Sims' next game is home against Pellston, and Atlanta will be hosting Mayo next Thursday. And the Posen Vikings really caught fire in this one, but it just wasn't enough as they lost by a score of 42-38. George Kroll went 8 of 11 for 133 yards. Posen's next game is home against Onaway.
The Fifth Down coverage is brought to you by Alpena Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. Auto, home, life, health, and business, we make insurance easy. The Aplex, Northeast Michigan's premier events complex. Visit aplex.org to find out more. And Mid-Michigan Health Rehabilitation Services, helping you return to your highest level of function or performance.